Welcome to the Metal Prognosis. My name is Lee, and on today's Pedal to the Metal, we're going to be looking at a pedal called AMD1 or AMDI. Don't know. It's by a Tom's Line Engineering. I've never heard of them before. So let's have a quick look at it and see what we are. Get out the camera. What we are looking at. Well, it's definitely well packaged. So here it is. The Metal AMD1. Yeah, first thoughts is it's definitely very well constructed and put together. We have a gain, a level, and a tone knob. Pretty standard for a pedal, but let's see how well it can actually metal. It says metal on it, so hopefully we are not being led into a false sense of security. So yeah, I'll plug this in. I'll dial it in on camera with you all so we can all see how it sounds as we're doing it, see what metal it inspires. Then, like all my videos, I'll do a quick jam, put it to a full mix with bass and drums, and then see how it sounds, and we'll talk about it later on. So let's get stuck into it and see how that AMD1 metal, very shiny too, very gold shiny. I don't know if that's shining in or out of the camera there, but yeah, it's definitely, I'm getting a bit of a reflection off the light whenever I twist it a certain way. But yeah, let's see how that AMD1 actually sounds. Now we have everything set up and ready to go. Like all my videos, this is what it sounds like clean. It's clean. But we don't want clean. We want some distortion. So what do we got here? We've got, so let's turn the gain all the way down. Let's turn the tone all the way down and leave the level about 12 o'clock, which is midday. Let's turn it on. So I've got a little light popping on there. That's good. And that's what it sounds like. So straight away, as soon as we put it on, we definitely hear some grunt come through. But not much. So firstly, let's check the tone. Let's check that all the way to 12 o'clock as well, so straight at the top. So that's cranked. So let's just roll it back to 12 again. Let's add some gain now and see what we get. Not too bad. I'm just going to give myself a little bit of more volume. All right, let's see if we can clean this up a bit. So let's add a little bit more tone. It's not sounding too bad. All right, let's crank the gain up full. So I like that. It's really hard to see the dials on here because they've just got like a little indent on to indicate where you're actually at. So I don't know if you can see on the camera. But if I go from, what would that be, about 4 o'clock on the dial to max, you get the hiss. So not max, not max. So let's hear if that hiss is worth keeping in or not. I'm going to roll it back a bit because it breaks up too much of the chord, if that makes sense. So it kind of crackles the sound, and not in a good distorted way. Always remember, when you're chasing a tone, you can make as many mistakes as you like, it doesn't matter, because you're just listening for the tone. What to say about this pedal at the moment? There's not much else we can really do. We've maxed out nearly everything but the gain, and it's sounding decent. We're getting good levels coming through there. It's not too bad at all. So as an example, just with it off. It does seem to have a nice overall body to its sound. I don't know what else to really do with it. There's not many knobs to play with and muck around with, so we are limited on what we can do without really pimping it out and adding other pedals either before or after it, which is always an option. But I think it's enough doodling for now. Let me take a little bit of time off camera. I'll compose a little 10-second song, put it together with bass and drums, share it with you in the Brady Bunch format with all the different takes that I do, and then we'll have our final thoughts afterwards. Because yeah, it's sounding decent already by itself, but let's see how it sounds when we mix it in with everything. So I'll be doubling up on the guitars and with the bass, and let's see if it does hold up in a full band mix or if it gets a little bit lost, or if it's a little bit weak in the full band. Not sure, but it's one way to find out. And in saying that, you are going to find out in about 4 seconds. So I'll see you all on the other side. Time for my final thoughts on the AMD1 metal pedal. So firstly, let me talk about the different knobs here. So the level, the level did decent. It made everything louder. I don't know what else to say about that. That's all it did. It did well. It's saying that it didn't give it a boost though, if that makes sense. So I didn't feel like the signal was boosted in any way by the volume. It was just increased. The gain did decent, but I really felt like I had to push it nearly to max to get the best out of it from what I could. Now, if you're running this through an amplifier and mixing it, kind of blending it with the amp distortion as well, I'm not sure how well they would match up, but definitely going through the usual setup that I have for these pedals for the metals, yeah, I definitely had to push it close to max. I felt like max, it was just a little bit too, it just broke up the sound a little bit. It kind of like scattered it, so it made it less defined and less smooth when I cranked it up to full. And there was hiss there, which, you know, is not the end of the world, because hiss is pretty easy to get rid of. We got the tone knob. Tone knob I pretty much pushed to max. Before it just felt a little bit underwater, I think is the best way to describe it. Just that little bit, not muffled, but it definitely felt like it had a cover over it, which I didn't like. But as soon as I put it to max, I was like, yeah, it was decent. It was decent. So I'm just kind of playing with this pedal a little bit because it has a little bit of stuff all over it, which is what I'm going to talk about now. So this seems like it was hand put together, not hugely done by those big manufacturing ones where they dish out, you know, thousands a day or whatever, however many they do. So I can still feel on the side here, there's still a little bit of glue. It's dried, which is good. It's not brand new fresh pedal, but it's definitely poking out a little bit like either glue or silicone. Silicone's a style of glue. And I notice there's just a little bit of shavings here and there from it, which makes me think that's pushes me towards me thinking that it's definitely more handmade than yeah, done through a machine. And in saying that, like the edges are extremely smooth like this. I do that to show that my finger hasn't been split open and there's blood pouring out everywhere, but if it was, you would have seen it. I didn't really need to prove that to go, look, it's safe, kids, look. No. It's one of those moments you have on camera where you just do it and don't think. But also in saying that, like, the sound wasn't too bad. I didn't mind the distortion of it. Wasn't like wow or through the roof. But if someone brought this pedal to me and said, Lee, I want to use this to record my EP or album or whatever they're doing, yeah, I would have no problem with utilising the best what I could from this and doing some post, like after we record it, EQing and mucking around to clean it up a bit, because I definitely feel like it needs a bit of a helping hand after it's been recorded. That's not a bad thing, because you do that with nearly everything. So yeah, I wouldn't have any quarrels with anyone bringing this pedal to the studio whatsoever. What else was I going to say about it? There was something else I was going to mention as well. That's right. Is the sound that we got out of it was, yeah, as I said, not too bad. But one thing I want to take into consideration is I found this for very cheap, brand new. It costs the equivalent of a pack of cigarettes. So keeping that in mind, the sound that we got for the price that I paid, it really holds up well for, yeah, as I said, brand new pack of cigarettes. It's very little for a great sound. So definitely worth its weight in gold. I mean, it looks very gold and shiny. And I'm going to look back on this when I edit it and see how much I'm actually blurring it with the reflection I got from my light, or if you can actually see it pretty clearly, because I have no idea. So yeah, overall, that is the AMD1 pedal, which is, yeah, not too bad at all. Not too bad. During the jam, if I recall correctly, when I was doing a stop-start near the end, it got a little bit feedback, for lack of a better term, but I wasn't using any noise suppressor or reducer, so that would definitely help clean up that stop-start But I wanted to kind of keep it a little bit more raw because that's what this series is about, and to see how sensitive it can be to that style of playing. But like all my videos, I want to know what your thoughts are. How did you feel when I was dialing in this pedal? And also, have you heard of this pedal before? Because I've never heard about this brand. So yeah, definitely keen to know if you've heard about this pedal or even used it yourself. How did you feel when I added it to the band mix with the bass and the drums? Which actually reminds me, I definitely felt like with a few of the notes, the bass guitar helped out immensely to help define a lot of the notes. So when I isolated the guitars, when I was listening back to it, they sounded decent, but it was just that little bit. There's this fine balance between it being a little bit too fuzzy and being nice distortion. I felt like it leaned just a little bit too fuzzy. Just enough where it was hard to define, but as soon as I added the bass guitar to it, following the notes, it really helped emphasize them and bring out the clarity of them. That was my opinion of it, but as I was trying to say before I rudely interrupted myself with that little tangent, yeah, what are your thoughts? How did you feel when adding in the bass and drums to it? Yeah, definitely keen for your thoughts. And with that, I'll do my usual sign-off. So whether this video is in the foreground or the background, definitely appreciate your company. If you know anyone else that would like these type of conversations in these videos, please let them know about my channel so we can help it grow and become a lot more than what it is. Like every other YouTube video that you watch, I'm sure we all say the exact same thing. If you get a moment to subscribe and like, that really helps this video grow, and it's always definitely appreciated. So in saying that, I look forward to chatting with you next time. Until then, please stay safe.